I'm going to do a quick video here, kind of take everybody through this process as I build it out. I think it's going to be kind of interesting for everybody that's into streaming or video production online. Um, for about 10 years, my wife and I had our own production company and ad agency, done a lot of streaming 10, 15 years ago using Wirecast. I've done a lot of remotes and things like that. And over the times have changed and equipment's gotten different and better. I've just got a bunch of equipment. We closed our shop down and went back to work for people and about 2 years ago, and everything's kind of been collecting dust. And with COVID happening and kind of the growth in online content, I decided to get back into it. Also, finally got broadband to the house, so that made a big difference. So I have a shop behind my house that I used to build motorcycles in, and basically collected junk, and it was so full you couldn't move. So I spent a couple days cleaning and started this process probably in the spring, putting up some stuff, trying to design it all, and then kind of put it on hold because I couldn't get internet. When COVID hit, I had to get internet so I could work at home. I'm shooting a wireless stream about 1,000 yards away, or 1,000 feet. The cable company dropped the extra line into my neighbor's house. He was nice enough to let me do that, so now I'm streaming about a 250 meg line, so that should be plenty to broadcast. I've been doing this for 12 years or so. I had a beer show I did 2008 on YouTube. We also streamed live from the Great American Beer Fest. It was Beer Utopia. I've got a couple of podcasts out there. This is Esports, the Motor Revolution podcast, a motorcycle podcast, and an esports podcast. But I'm not as regular as I should be because I didn't have space. So we're going to fix all that, and I'll just give you a quick tour. We'll start over here on the shop side. I had kind of shifted everything around. I still got a lot of, stuff to fix and pack away. I had moved my pegboard over to here, so that's all got to get straightened up, and trying to get enough room to get back on my projects. Cafe Racers is actually a 81 CB 750 that I had hacked and chopped and gonna leave all rusty. And then I bought this for my wife. It's a 69 CB 175, and it ran and has license and everything, but it just sat for a while. I've got to redo some controls. Trying to get in shape, so I got my weight bench all set up over here. But this is where the studio starts. So I had bought these brick panels from Home Depot. It's kind of a cheap, quick backdrop. Probably all had one in our college TV station or high school stations, so that's where that starts. And I'll walk you through some of the gear. So over the years, this is kind of old faithful. My run and gun Panasonic served me for many years. It's just HD, not 4K or anything. And then we stepped out to get, well, then I guess really the next thing, this Zoom here is coming real handy. I used to run a lot of AV gigs and have to record conversations and things like that, so that's always come in handy. Then we did a national TV spot for EBR, Eric Buell Racing Motorcycles, and we had to kind of step it up. And back then it was this Panasonic HD interchangeable lenses, follow focus, a Red Rock Micro, all the hood and everything, and old faithful Sennheiser mics that I've had forever. I got to try to get some of them to work. They've been sitting for so long. Last purchase in audio, I had made these Rhodes, which are perfectly good, so that's probably what I'm going to use for right now. I've always had Wirecast, and so I'd used these Ultra Minis to put two cameras into HD into Thunderbolt. Those still work. Then I was trying to really go as, off the iPhone as much as I can. I've tested out all the Rode microphones, all the little handheld gadgets and gizmos. Recent purchase was the G7 for 4K and the Ronin S to try to get into that. There is a compressor limiter that I bought years ago, never installed. My 2013 Old Faithful MacBook Pro that has seen its better days. It's time for a new one. And then a Dana Dolly. I got this for a big shoot that we did for a bicycle company, Allied Bicycles, and my wife was the DP for that shoot, and I was trying to get her all this gear that we could to kind of kick it up a notch. So maybe used it once or twice. You know, it's one of those things you'll always keep and never get rid of, like C-stands. There's a 4-foot Kino tripod. Then I've got this recent Free2Me PC that upgraded, and I've done the tests. I've got it streaming OBS with my Ultra Mini recorders through the MacBook. So I should have more than enough gear to turn this into a live streaming studio. I still need I had a mixer. I had like 2 mixers, audio mixers, and they were just got broke or knobs twisted off because I used to travel a lot and just bang them around. So that's all the gear. The plan is we're going to do some painting over here. I got a color picked out over there. I'll do a green screen wall somewhere over here. Probably going to find some sort of solution to mount lights in the ceiling just because I don't have a ton of room. But for now, I could get by with the Kino, but that's just one 4-foot. So I got some plans there. Try to do some, we'll find some stuff. This was a shop table that I got at an auction, and it's got this great patina over it. And I was going to put a wood, a larger wood surface and kind of finish it out nice, but my wife was like, she liked it just leaving it kind of rustic, so I kind of agree with her. That's kind of my thing. I love patina, so we'll just keep it. Plus, it just keeps costs down. So everything here has been collected over the years, so I'm trying to spend as little as money as possible. And if you go on YouTube, you see everything that's, all the new stuff you should buy, spend all this money and get. But I've got these cameras. They're great cameras. They're production level cameras. Can't really use them in field production anymore because everything's 4K. But for streaming, it'll be perfect. The great thing, even though you have say this, is perfect because you get your bokeh and you can do all the lens swap. You have to have external power supply that bypasses the battery. Whereas this, I can also put the same lenses on, and I've got XLR, so I can just use all the XLR mics I have. And for right now, it's just going to be me in the room doing stuff remotely, like through StreamYard or something like that. Until COVID's over, I won't be having any guests in here, live guests. But we could do product reviews. I'll do some Twitch. We'll do some YouTube shows. Just kind of start playing with it all. I think that's where I have to start. One of the things, I live in Arkansas. It's summer and I don't have air conditioning here yet. So right now I'm sweating like crazy. And hopefully maybe we can do some build shows and get these motorcycles finished. But you can see there's gear bags and hard cases, and I think this one went with my wife to Guatemala when she did a shoot in Guatemala, which was pretty cool. That's the Dana Dolly goes in there, and mostly I shot with just carrying that bag and this camera right here. This camera was old faithful for me, and I can use this to stream too. When it's SD card recording, that was like a game changer back in the day. So is this one. But so I might make this one my main camera for right now. I've got great lenses for it. We can set it up. I can probably, I can do this 25. I can put that on there, get some nice depth of field. And it has all the XLR power supply, everything else. So I guess just for fun, I could mount this all on there to make it look all fancy, but nobody's going to see it. So, but this one could be mounted easily on a C-stand. Like I was thinking about mounting on one of these C-stands so I can look, get a close-up camera. But to get to that point, I'll have to have more inputs. So right now I only have the 2 inputs because I only have 2 Thunderbolts on that. I'm looking at the Blackmagic ATEM Mini. That's up to 4 inputs right now. I don't really need that many, but I'll look at that maybe in the future. Better input card maybe for the PC. I'll probably have to build another PC You know, should I stick with my tried and true Mac or go to PC or blended both? You know, we'll see. But there's plenty of gear here to kind of do what I need to do. So I'll kind of follow along. I'll let everybody follow along and see how it goes. And if you want to build your own studio and you have some found gear, or maybe you can find some of this gear on eBay cheaper than buying some brand new stuff. But then there's so much stuff out there now that's inexpensive that's really good too. So this is where I'm at. It's all the stuff I have. I can't really bring myself to spend a bunch of money if I don't have to. And besides, air conditioning here is next, so that's going to be more important than any other camera I could buy. Stay tuned. I'll keep you informed. I'll be streaming. I'll be on Twitch. We'll be on YouTube, trying to figure out what are all the best platforms to go to. You know, what's the plus and minuses of all of them, whether that's Facebook Live, Mixer, Caffeine, Twitch. There's so many today, you know, so I'll probably just be trying them all. That's how I learn, is to just jump in, learn it as you go, figure it out, and see what works. So follow along and subscribe to the video here when you get alerts when I go live again or post another video, and we'll just keep taking you through the process.